G'day folks. Well, this has been a long time waiting. It's been at least 2 years in the waiting department to finally be able to plot my own timing curve, and really opens me up now to some really good possibilities. This is the 6AL MSD 6AL2 MSD programmable. Now you can download this, guys. It's not hard at all. The CD they gave me was completely wrong, but I did find out you can just download all this information, or this software, and go from there. So it's very good. It is a very good setup. Alright, let's have a little chat about it and we'll dive into it. This is a good little feature, guys. We're looking at a real-time, just a three gauge setup. So we've got revs, we've got timing degrees, and we've got a PSI gauge. Now I think this is set up for the map sensor, and I actually will ultimately run this, but for now, if I can just plot a very safe conservative timing map, it just gets me going, just familiarises myself with the whole system, and it will take actually advantage of what I've been missing out on for a lot of years. Now this would be handy actually. Excuse me. You could be sitting in the car with your laptop, if you make any changes or just want to check on your timing, any change that you made, or just make sure the timing's all working correctly. This is awesome. You can just bring this up on the rev counter and just keep an eye on where the timing sort of changes and whatnot, and you know, it's a great feature. And this will be handy too, I suppose. I'll probably do this more so on the dyno, I suppose. You really can't watch it while you're driving, but yeah, I think that'd be great for the dyno. So, great little feature there. We'll have a look at this one. Pop on that. There we go. All right, we've got some really good little rev limit features with it. It has a rev burnout feature, so, and this is triggered by a wire. So if you set a switch up and liven the wire with power, activates the rev burnout. For example, you just want to do a burnout of say 4,000 revs, you don't want to overcook the engine. You press that button and you can set it up to whatever you want. If you've got a rev, well, this is the rev launch. You've got a rev launch here, so you're at the start line and you want to bring it up on the converter or trans brake. You can set whatever rev you desire on that with another separate switch. So that's very handy, very handy. The rev max, this one here, is automatic, so you don't have to have any trigger wires to operate that. I've got this set at actually 6.3. Previously I had it set at 6.1, and the reason why this is set reasonably low, guys, is it's for terminal speed, because at the minute I'm really struggling to get a sense of the speed, and I've become reliant on that rev limit to sort of cap my speed, and it's a lot easier to judge braking. If I had this sort of set right out to say 6.5 or 6.8, I really, yeah, it just pulls so hard, the car, it's hard to judge when to brake. And when you do, you could be carrying a lot more terminal speed than you're ready for, and I don't want that. So this is a really good safety cushion for me at the minute. But 6.3 I feel comfortable going up a couple of hundred revs. I feel that, you know, I was 6.1 was, you know, I was very comfortable with that, and I think if we just slowly creep up in it over time, That's a great thing. Yeah, so I've set that at 6.3, and that's a very handy little thing that to know. I'll just pop that back up. Have a look at this, guys. You've got other, we've got launch, well, you've got timing delays. You can ramp in different timing, you know. This is a really awesome box, this. It's unbelievable. Look at the Hall Edge. I've never heard of that. Or Hall Edge. You've got a Hall Edge sensor, and you've got all these other little features. I'm guessing it's more for drag racing, but oh yeah, it's unbelievable. All the little extra features in it. It's really awesome little box. All right, we'll get out of this one, and I'll show you some other things. We'll bring this one up. Now this is for the map sensor. This is the map, the boost retard curve. Yes, I'm not, like I said, I'm not familiar with this one, but it's something ultimately I want to run. So, and which will be a more consistent thing for me, because I know at different gears, ramping on boost, it happens earlier or later depending on the load of the engine. So this will be a really excellent setup. This setup, it's actually the ultimate for me. Alright, we'll get into the main run curve chart. Now this is awesome. this is really going to be very, very awesome for what I've been missing out on, guys. Now I've locked the Dizzy out at 30 degrees, okay? This is the timing retard side. So this is like 5 degrees of timing it'll pull, and so forth. So it'll do a maximum of 25 degrees. Now if you set up whatever you set up your Dizzy at, lock it out, you've got to subtract basically the timing. So at 10 here degrees of timing I pull out of it, it was going to set me up at 20 degrees. And that's what I ran originally with the locked out Dizzy, was just a flat curve of 20 degrees. Well, I'm finding now 20 degrees last time down at the track was actually a little bit aggressive, especially when the engine gets really warm and you go to start it up again. Well, what I've gone and do, I've actually pulled an extra degree out of it. We've come back to 19 degrees static, up to around 400 revs. So that'll hopefully get me going. Then, sorry, 200 revs. That's 200 there. And then it'll hopefully get me going, and then it ramps into 20 degrees at 400 revolutions. So that, hopefully, that little bit there, that little drop in timing, will just stop that initial trying to kick back. It never actually did kick back, but it was just loaded up. It just went whoom, whoom, and then fired up. And then we've got up to 20 degrees, which is fantastic on idle. It really makes it feel really crisp and responsive off the throttle. It's fantastic, and it's actually cleaned up my air fuels a little bit. So that's brilliant. So up till 1200 revs through to 2800 revs, we're going to whack some timing into it. And this part here, guys, is the bit that I've been really missing out on. I've originally just had a flat curve of 20 degrees. Well, now as the revs increase, she's going to whack some timing in. So we're going up to 30 degrees of timing at 2800 revs. I know that she's not going to start to build boost around then. There is just no way. Even with the 355 stroker that I had, 3000 revs, you started, 331 it was, you started to spool. Now, even considering that, bringing on the aggressive timing, which is actually may bring on, well, it probably will bring on the turbo that little bit earlier, but it's still very safe. So we're 30 degrees at 2800 revs, and then by the time we get to 3000 revs, we're back to 20 degrees for the moment. We're going to start to spool. There's no doubt about it. She's going to really start to ramp in around this department, because where it is now at 20 degrees right through before, we had 3-4. That's when roughly it came in on boost. Okay, it was full boost. So it only actually took a couple of hundred revs from basically from the point of naught on your vacuum gauge to basically 14 pounds of boost. It was only a couple of hundred revs. So we've kept it really well in on that margin. Look, even if it was 4 or 5, 6 pounds of boost back up here, it's still 23, 24, 25 degrees of timing. It's still very conservative amount of timing through here. Even if boost was up in this rev range, it's still very conservative. So I'm very confident on this. But the big winner is, look at this, guys. It's really going to make some good kick-ass power out of boost there. And that'll net me coming out of the hairpin, that bit of timing there. It hopefully won't bog down and struggle. It'll just keep pulling through nicely. And that's the exciting little bit that I've been missing out on ever since I've turboed this car. Obviously, once we get back onto boost, we've just got a flat curve of 20 degrees right through. Alright guys, well that's the little chart at the minute, and I'm very confident with it actually. I'm actually keen to see if we get a little power drop once we get to the point, and then sort of come back through here, because we've got such a savage timing pull, whether I feel it sort of just nose over just as the transitional boost comes on. That'll be very interesting. And I may even be able to just trim that out a little bit more and give it a bit more timing. So we get that laptop and I can do that. So that's very interesting. I'm very excited about it all. And I tell you what, I need a bloody tacho in my car, because I really got to keep an eye on when full boost is coming in now. And yeah, I need that extra tool. Alright folks, well that's my little plot at the minute, and I'm very excited about it all, and it's just awesome. It really is. Alright, I'll do some more videos on it when I get a bit more familiar with it, when I learn up on this map sensor, and we'll go from there guys. But this is just the first introduction to it all, and I hope you're enjoying my little journey with the MS-D box, because it's really opened up some doors for me and into a world of potential. And who knows with the Carby, it might be time to cross over in the next sort of 12 months or so. I don't know guys, but it's starting to really open my eyes up, all this sort of stuff, and it's bloody exciting. And I know why you guys get very excited over it too, because it's incredible stuff. Alright folks, well I'll put one up soon. I'll catch you later.